Dinosaurs have fascinated humans ever since they first appeared on the fossil record. Today, we know a lot about dinosaurs from scientific publishings and a lot of popular culture such as books, movies, and TV shows. Whether it be an Ice Age movie or a Jurassic Park or a Jurassic World movie, there are some inconsistencies in the way they have portrayed dinosaurs. And don't worry, we have misunderstood dinosaurs a lot. So today, we'll be clearing some misconceptions about dinosaurs. So Jurassic Park is the classic 1993 family action movie that is directed by Steven Spielberg and is made by Universal, and it is based on a 1990 novel of the same name. Although it is a science fiction film, we cannot say that all the details in the movie or in the book are also accurate, and trust me, I haven't read the book, so we are going here solely by the movie, and we are going to talk about some scientific and inaccuracies in the movie that can actually be rectified using modern science, because we've learned more in this field of paleontology in the past few years than we had known a whole century ago. So if these errors are rectified, well, it will be good for everyone. We must not always believe what we read in books or what we watch on television, because it can be wrong until a certain degree. Because NASA has actually stated that the Jurassic Park movie is the 7th most accurate movie to have ever made on the planet. But it means that it's lacking in some places in inaccuracies, because sometimes movies and books convince you so much that one thing is super accurate that you just die hard believe it, but it's all wrong. And if you spread that information to someone else, you're spreading the wrong information, and misinformation can create a lot of problems. So it's best if we sort these out early to stop creating major problems, because such things have happened before. Alright, so let's get started. So at the beginning of the movie, a few minutes in, when they enter the amphitheater or whatever it is called in the Jurassic Park, they actually are watching some kind of small introductory film, and in that introductory film there is this cute little character called Mr. DNA, and Mr. DNA is explaining to them the science behind genetics and how genetics creates complex creatures such as humans and mosquitoes and pterodactyls and whatnots, and most importantly to us and to the filmmakers, dinosaurs. And there is also a small segment in which they have shown that there is a mosquito that is crystallized in tree sap, and they're trying to extract the DNA from the mosquito which is in the tree sap. And they've also told that they use the DNA of mosquitoes, birds, and most importantly frogs to fill out the missing gaps in the dinosaur genome. Well, there are several reasons why this scene is scientifically inaccurate, and also why it is not practically possible. So number one, you cannot extract DNAs from an animal that is crystallized in tree sap or ice. That's because DNA degrades over time. Science has shown us that the half-life of DNA, or the maximum extent until DNA can be preserved in a certain substance, is 512 years. Yes, only 512 years, my friends, considering the dinosaurs lived 65 million years ago. Yes, 65 million years is a long time, considering the half-life of DNA, which is 512 years only. So it is just practically impossible to get the DNA out of the mosquito, and just totally impossible to bring the dinosaurs back to life, as the DNA has already degraded. As for what I said about using a toad or a frog DNA, no. Actually, they should have used the bird DNA instead if they really wanted to do this, and if DNA had a longer half-life, because birds are actually way closer related to dinosaurs than are frogs. Well, we should know that this movie was made in the year 1993, and that time our knowledge about genetics and how the genome works was not as advanced as it is today. So I think they must have made a supposition that frogs are ugly and horrible, and that's why they must be way closely related to dinosaurs, maybe. Now let's come back to our second misconception. So Whoever has watched the movie knows that there is this kind of dinosaur and it's known as the Dilophosaurus, and that it has a beautiful frill around its neck and it spits a venom out, and the venom can blind you and can paralyze you. And all of you know that the main antagonist of the movie, who is Dennis Nerdy, actually tries to steal embryos from the lab and shuts down the electricity and tries to flee with the embryos because someone else is waiting on the other side waiting to get those embryos. So yeah, he's trying to flee, and then the Dilophosaurus comes and then spits venom at him and he dies. And the Dilophosaurus kind of like extends his frill, it looks pretty, and Dennis Nerdy gets scared and he dies, yes. So you must be familiar with that scene. Now, there are some things that are, once again, I'm sorry to disappoint you, wrong about this scene. How much ever iconic it must be. Number one, there has been no evidence, no fossilized evidence or archaeological evidence at all that a Dilophosaurus had that pretty neck frill. I know, no matter how pretty it might seem, sorry, it does not exist. Though, I think if it did exist, the Dilophosaurus might use it for like warding off enemies or predators and being like, yo, I look bigger with this frill. Get away from me. And another thing about the Dilophosaurus here is that it could not spit venom because we haven't found any fossilized evidence of a duct in the Dilophosaurus's mouth or in the back which can spit venom. So yeah, that trait of the Dilophosaurus did not exist as well. And kids, if you ever work at a dinosaur park, let me tell you one thing. Never try to steal dinosaur embryos at all and turn down the electricity and flee, because that can get you into a lot of danger and can risk many lives. While Dennis Nerdy is being chased around by the Dilophosaurus and meeting his fate of dying, the crew of Jurassic Park, who are on the other side of the park, are being confronted by a T-Rex. They know that the T-Rex has escaped the paddock because this boy had night vision glasses, and with his night vision glasses, he found out that the goat had escaped. There was no goat over there. And somehow they could feel some vibration in the water. And the T-Rex was coming closer and closer. Well, let me just spoil it for you. I'm sorry, but yes, this scene is once again very inaccurate. It might be a fan favorite, it might be the most one with the most intense CGI and the best CGI and the most intense moment in the film, but I'm sorry. T-Rexes did not live in the Jurassic period. They lived in the Cretaceous. And since the park is not called the Cretaceous Park, well, what are they doing in Jurassic Park, by the way, if they're not supposed to belong here? Because the Jurassic period and the Cretaceous period had vastly different climates. So if that was the case, a T-Rex could not survive in Jurassic period or in the Jurassic Park. If the park stimulated the temperature of the Jurassic period, the T-Rex would die. And also, T-Rexes did not eat goats. Goats and T-Rexes did not live at the same time. And also, the T-Rex in the movie eats whatever the hell comes in its way. People, cars, other T-Rexes, other dinosaurs. I mean, yes, they were carnivorous, but goats? Nay. And people did not live the same time as Rexes too. This does not make sense at all. Does it? Leave a comment down below. I will check it out and I might feature you in the next video. So after all the events with the T-Rex, the team needs to flee. So Dr. Alan Grant takes the two children and they run away from the T-Rex because the T-Rex can kill. So yeah, after running away, they actually get into a dinosaur paddock by accident. And I can tell you one thing, it is not at all wise to keep dinosaurs in paddocks, because when they first roamed the earth 65 million years ago, there weren't humans or any other animals to build paddocks for them where they could stay enclosed. Nay, they were just roaming freely, killing and eating, of course, whatever came in their way. A stegosaurus? No problem, let me eat it. But in that paddock, it was very regulated, and the carnivorous dinosaurs could stay in one place and they were bought food by the employees, and the herbivorous dinosaurs stayed in one place, and that does not just stimulate the ecosystem in which they lived long time ago. So, Dr. Alan Grant and these two children find themselves into one of these paddocks, and the T-Rex ultimately comes inside the paddock for some food, and they need to escape quick. So there is this kind of electric fence with 10,000 volts on it, and that time the electricity had been turned off, so they try to climb the pole. And there's this guy, Dr. Alan Grant, and he does the best joke ever by telling the children that the pole is like the fence is on, and he just holds it and be like, ah! But actually it isn't. So they climb up and they get to the other side, and the girl and Dr. Alan Grant get down, whereas this guy, that small boy, is still on there holding it, and Dr. Ellie, who is there at the control center, switches on the electricity, and that boy is zapped by 10,000 volts, and he falls down from a height of around 100 feet, I think so, and he falls down, and Dr. Alan Grant does some CPR to him for, I say, 1 to 2 minutes, and he's alright, and he's on the run already, and the next scene happens, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Now, if you are zapped by 10,000 volts, you cannot ultimately survive. 10,000 volts is just too strong for our body to handle. And plus, falling from a height of 100 feet, you could have died easily. And 2 minutes of CPR won't do anything else. So yes, that was one scene in which the characters could have died, but a small glitch kind of made them come back to life, or should I say he was unconscious, and doing that bit of CPR made him breathe again, and he was able to live his life in the park, enjoy, look around the dinosaurs. But this was not the time to enjoy, it's time to run away from them. So yeah, that is one more observation, and this is the last and the final major observation we are doing today. So you know the iconic kitchen scene in which the velociraptors get inside the kitchen and they open the door of the kitchen and come inside, and then they see the children and they try to eat them, and the children run away and chaos happens. And I won't be telling it to you because I will be spoiling it, and you won't want any spoilers. You would want to watch the movie yourself if you haven't watched the movie, right? Comment down below. So coming back to topic, the velociraptors break into the kitchen scene, and yes, a kitchen. I did not know that kitchens existed in the Cretaceous period, because yes, velociraptors lived during the Cretaceous period. Do not ask me whatever the hell they were doing in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park. So yes, the velociraptors, as in the movie, have a very sharp or very strong sense of smell. Well, until a certain degree, yes, they had a sharp sense of smell in real life as well. And scientific analysis has shown us that velociraptors were actually kind of brainy. They were as smart, averaging a rabbit. So, the velociraptors actually come inside and they try to scare the children and try to eat the children, because yes, velociraptors were carnivorous, but I never knew they ate children. So yes, that kind of irked me out a bit. And also for the fact that velociraptors, the claw placement in the movie is a bit different, and with that claw placement, it would have actually made it harder for real life velociraptors to function. Also, one more last pointer, velociraptors in the movie were really bigger than what they were in real life. Because in real life, the velociraptors were just as big as an average chicken. And in the movie, they were 10 times as big as the chicken. And over here, I have some slides to show you. So in the first one, it is how big a velociraptor is in the movie compared to a human. The second slide, and in this one, they show how big the velociraptor is compared to a human in real life according to fossilized records. So yes, that is how big a velociraptor actually was when it roamed the earth. Really small. Thanks for watching this video so that you can learn more about the misconceptions in the portrayal of dinosaurs in the Jurassic Park movies. Moreover, on top of the dinosaurs, the movies are awesome, and if you have free time, go and check them out because they all are on Netflix. And if you have any questions regarding today's video or any other topic, want to suggest anything, please feel free to use the comment section below or email me on my email, which is given in the description box. As for now, thanks for watching once again, and bye. See you in the next video, which is coming soon.